So this is our first videocast of the Managed Workspace team with myself, Allan, Rookyard, and Liam McGlone. So be very nice, people. Today we're just going to talk about do something a little bit different, and it's kind of an introduction to one of the centres that we run and manage, which is Louis Pearlman Centre. That's been around since the 80s. And I joined the council back in November, the 19th of November 2003, when strangely the front of the building wasn't automatic. You had to be near enough a weightlifter to open the door. The the building itself, some of the walls were yellow because you were allowed to smoke inside then. And where there's the little cul-de-sac part, that used to be the smoking area for people where they could go in. And you had the two vending machines, which were kind of used heavily. And there was an outcry when the coffee machine went, because it used to be 15p a coffee. So yeah, but I mean, I think in today we're just going to kind of put in the video and show clips of the centre, what it actually looks like now, and hopefully if we've got some of the old archive photos as well, we can do a little comparison. So I mean, even the reception now has changed dramatically. We did have a little bit of investment back in 2009 when we changed the carpet tiles. They used to be purple, then they got changed to blue, and now they've been changed to a grey colour. The reception itself as well had some big improvements. I mean, I remember back in the day when there was only one computer when we first came in, and that's how wild it is now. The team now, they've moved on to, we're all on laptops with bigger and better screens. And the job role itself as well is more of a, it's just a base on reception. We do a lot of work with our tenants. We talk to them a lot and see how they are, where they are in their business and where they're moving to. So yeah, I mean, the base itself, obviously the reception, what's your feelings on that, Liam, when you see photos of old to how it is now and how it looks now?
Yeah, I remember walking in the reception for the first time. I think it was like June, July last year, and it was just seeing the plain brown brick on the walls, and that I think it was the blue carpet,
Yeah.
and that old tenant directory board with the pin letter sort of thing,
Yeah.
and just seeing it go from that to what is like now with the digital screen and like the really nice grey look, and with the feature wall, it just feels more like a
Modern.
yeah modern. Use of a better word, modern. Yeah.
Yeah, it's finally up to date.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, because even we are obviously council, and a lot of people used to joke and say, oh, well, it's council, and it has a council feel. And I think it's obviously I've been at council for a long, long time, and you understand where that kind of joke comes from, because if you go to different council buildings, it has a council feel. And I think what's happened here is it's really moved away from that. Even the conference room where you're sat in right now, you can see, the feature wall behind, and it looks really nice, and everything's all opened up. It's all light in there. That used to be separated into two different rooms. So you had the kitchen, which had the old serving hatch. If you look to your left now, it's just a closed brick wall in it. Where before it used to be a serving hatch where they would lift up, and if they would be making drinks and they'd serve through there. And then obviously to the right of you, they'd be sectioned off there, which was the annex. And the other door at the back was kind of the old school way where it was all closed off, and then it would open up like a magical open up, and where people would go and get the sandwiches. With one improvement was a 32-inch screen, which was bought, I think, in about 2005, which is, again, it's crazy, because if you look at the conference room now and how it is, with the desks and how, modern they are and the modern feel to it, the interactive screen. I mean, you've used the screen. What do you think about the screen?
It's dead easy to use. It's just plug and play. It is completely interactive. You can even download an app for it and share your screen from your phone, your laptop, whatever. So you don't even have to be wired into it. And to go to that from a little 32-inch screen with was it just an HDMI cable?
I don't even know if it had an HDMI. I think it was a VGA cable. I think it was that old. They never had any USB ports. I know that for a
Yeah.
fact.
Like
Um,
this, you can just plug a USB in and have a presentation or something loaded on that, I think.
yeah.
So
It is. It's all changed, and as I say again, when you walk in there, and we're doing bookings now for people to come back in. Obviously, once COVID sorts itself out, and we can start getting people back in. Um, even when you walk around the building as well, it's had that life breathed back into it by even just little simple things like you mentioned the walls when you'd first walk in reception. It was those orange brick where
yeah.
it kind of, I don't know, there's such an 80s feel about it. So that they've all been upgraded and painted and redone, and it just looks really good. Even the toilets have all been changed, and um, it just feels like a lot better, aesthetically more pleasing. The loading bay area as well. And all works haven't stopped yet. We're still planning on doing, another entrance at the back, which is going to happen at later in the year. The new flooring as well, because even the when you'd walk on the ground floor and near the workshops areas as well, that had such a kind of not a dirty feel, but it was more like if you'd go into a hospital ward, it kind of had that
Yeah.
feel to it.
Yeah.
And then now it's all stripped up and changed, and it looks bright and vibrant. Yeah, and used to have these purple dolls, and then they got changed to blue, and it's just you can see the difference and the change, and what the changes feel like, and what it makes around the centre. Um,
And then going upstairs to the atrium, just
mm,
that looks like a completely different place.
yeah.
Just those little chairs that were in there before, which I think were they in there from when it opened in
Oh
the
yeah,
90s?
way back when. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And like all the fluff and stuff inside had basically been squashed down.
Yes, yeah. Well, they're not even fire retardant. We found that out when we was getting rid of them. We had to specially get rid of them because there wasn't. We couldn't even give them to a charity shop because of that, and we didn't even know. Um, so yeah, I think that's just a classic example of how old these things were, and changes, I guess, to systems and things that you've got to have in place now, and just being DDA compliant and all that kind of stuff. It's really important, but then at the same time as well, it's having that modern feel in there as well, which
Yeah.
I think the place does. And as you say, that atrium, it's all opened up, and it's all looks so nice. You've got the breakout areas where people can congregate and talk to each other, and use those couches for that area, which they never had that before, because it wasn't really a pleasing part. I mean, tenants now upstairs can have comfort in sending people up to as a waiting area, which they never had that before. And yeah, it's such a better place, and having internet now in for all the rooms, which again is something that we never had before. So we have made such an effort to move forward, and then obviously as this, even back in the day when I first came, there used to be a restaurant on site. Where the new breakout area is
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. I think I've
That
seen photos. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that where the breakout area was just a kind of a bar area, and then where Unit 50 is, where
Yeah.
Caroline is, that was actually the main restaurant where the tables were.
All right.
And
Yeah.
then to the left of that, where the old kind of wine cellar was, where people would make and prepare all the food. So that's how it used to be back in the day. It was quite popular as well. It was taken over by an Italian company, and I think they then moved into the city centre, because then we then actually went through another change, and we got Unit 50 as part for the whole iTech.
Uh,
They were in, and they were doing catering, and then that part there was where people could buy sandwiches and just sit down. That went through another modification where somebody came in and used that as well, kind of as a healthy vegan type kind of place, but that didn't really take off. which then kind of led to this part now, having a breakout area. And again, you just see that completely transformed that area where, again, it's got that modern feel and it just looks, nice. It's somewhere where you'd want to go in and you can sit down there. And that area there is where, we're planning on having, I guess, our networking sessions.
Yeah.
And, it's a great area and it just looks and feels the part. As I say, we've got those other improvements that's going to be happening at the back end of the year. And yeah, sorting out the tricky airflow problem, which has always sort of been around. But yeah, so there's been some massive changes to the buildings, and even at Stepping Stones, we've done some improvements down there, new carpet and painting the walls and stuff. So yeah, there's been a lot of changes, a hell of a lot of changes. What kind of features do you like the most? I mean, when you're doing viewings, what kind of areas do you like to show people most?
I think the breakout area is like always a good place to show people, because most of the time I've been and done a viewing, there's been one of the tenants sat in there working, because it's such a nice place to work in, and we've had people that come and have a look and just love the idea of the breakout area, being able to get away from their office or whatever for a little bit, go and get a drink, talk to other people. That's always proved to be really popular.
Yeah. So what else have you noticed, and what kind of feedback have the existing tenants given?
Well, it's like you said earlier about it used to have the council feel. You get people coming in now saying it doesn't look like you're going into a council building. Someone said it's like you're walking into a hotel lobby, which not too sure about that, but
Suppose you say,
yeah,
I'll tell that as a compliment. It's
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just there are people that have been here for quite a while and did see it like back when you started, and they've said that it has just breathed new life into it, and it seems a lot busier now than it was, because I think people are leaving the units more and talking to other people and stuff, and we are seeing a lot more interaction, more networking already, and that's before our first real networking events even happened.
Yeah. And I think that kind of shows that like level of engagement. I know we tried obviously using Microsoft Teams to do a quiz night, and with a few bit hiccups. They are Microsoft's fault. I'm blaming. But we had people who wanted to engage and do things like that as well, which that's never happened before as well. So it's like new steps and taking big strides, and I think it's positive. It really is positive. Even the outside as well. There's been a lot of work that's gone onto that as well. The trees at the back, even in the back car park, were kind of all overgrown, so we've cut them all back, and we've really tidied up that area. We've got new lights in there, to make it lighter and brighter. I mean, obviously you don't need it now in summer, but come the winter, you can feel that. Even the front car park as well, where it just looks professional. It looks somewhere where you'd want to bring visitors, because a lot of tenants, they have people coming to either pick up stuff or drop off stuff, come for meetings. A lot of people use our meeting spaces. And yeah, I mean, have visitors said anything? Has it been well received by visitors?
Yeah. Like, it's always the same thing of, I can't believe this is council, and just you come in and it's just like such a welcoming place. People have said, and being able to just have that area in reception to have a sit down, or people that are coming in for training courses with some of the training companies here, having the option to go get a drink before going up to where the session is. The areas up in the atrium where they can sit down and stuff before the session starts. It's just helping people feel more comfortable, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Good. And as I say, I think it's now we'd never have really not appreciated the places that we've had, but I think it's more an awareness of just how important these places are to people.
Yeah.
And Louis Pearlman itself holds a place dear in a lot of councillors' hearts as well, with Louis Pearlman and who he was and what he stood for. I think it'd definitely be some place that he'd be proud of as well. The transitions, and I think we're just at the very start of kind of a new era, really.
Mm.
So yeah, but so that's just sort of the building. And as I say, what we've got some photos as well, which Liam's expertly put together, and I guess we'll see this in this video because we don't just want it to be talking. So if anybody's seen this, please comment. Anybody who wants to come and view, they are more than welcome. We're happy to show people around. Still open, still providing business support, and yeah, as I say, get in touch and come have a look.